So that may not be of interest to many of you, but to me, that's a fun way to kind of get things started. Well, hello there, John Meyer here. This week, we're gonna revisit the Fun Machine for the last time. If you've been following this channel for a while, I've made 2 videos on an old Fun Machine Baldwin organ. 3 weeks ago, I did a video about the recording process, and then I broke it up and made some samples of the organ sounds. And this week, I'm gonna look at the percussion sounds, both the loops and the one-shots that the organ made. My buddy Joel Cameron, who helped me record this, sent me these files, and I spent the last few weeks chopping them up and arranging them. I made the KONTAKT instrument. It's for KONTAKT 5 users and up. It's still a beta version. I've been doing this sample of the week thing where I'm giving you a sample and then I take it away a week later, although I haven't taken the first one away and it's been 2 weeks, so sample every other week didn't sound like a very good name. But I'll leave that up for another day or two. I'll put this one up, and these will be in beta format. I don't know how they're gonna come back, but they will come back in some form. So if you wanna play around with it, I suggest that you download those very soon. The KONTAKT instrument is made up of 3 parts. There's the one-shots, the loops, and the fills, which are my favorite part, and I'll explain how I created those later. But the first thing we want to do is talk about the basic loops that came out of the machine. So let me go ahead and put my headphones on so I can hear what I'm doing, and I will demonstrate the loops. The loops are from C4 to B4. And these are the loops that came out of the Fun Machine. We recorded them at different tempos, I think 80, 90, 100, and so on. I'm only using one set. If I take these loops and make something more involved in the future, I might revisit some of those slower and faster tempos. But for now, I just wanted to low in the loops and see if I could get them to loop. I've never done that before in KONTAKT, and I was able to figure that out. So if you go into your section here, if you go into sample and loop and the sync slices, there are some buttons that you can press and get some things, and I won't go into great detail. You can find tutorials about that. But I was able to make that work. So right now we're at 110. If I change it to 150, we got that. If I change it to 70, you're starting to hear some artifacts there of it slowing down, which some of you may think that's bad. I personally like that, and that gets me thinking about ways that I can tweak it. So for example, say I load up Decapitator or any kind of saturation plugin. I've got this enhancer that I loaded up. It's just for, I mean, that's pretty terrible actually, but you can see how with a little tweaking, that could be fun. Notice that I have a high pass filter and a low pass filter and a resonance control. Let's start with the low pass. I usually map that to CC1. Let's get it back to a tempo that's more reasonable. You can bring up the resonance control here. And I also put in a high pass filter for moments where you want the low end to go away. Say you wanted that super filtered sound. Now let's look at the one shots. Have a kick, another kick with a hi-hat sound, snare, an awesome fill, some tom sounds, hi-hats, and then some other sounds. And as we move up, notice that there's combinations of sounds. And the reason why this was really challenging is that you had to slow the Fun Machine way down, and then we tried to chop the instruments up to where you could get individual sounds. And sometimes that was simple, other times not so much. So these sounds up on the second octave are combinations of different sounds. Now, what's really neat about this is Joel sent me 2 versions, like a direct mix and a room mix. And to be honest, I don't know if it's just the direct signal or just the room signal, but there was a tight mix and a wide mix, so I call them direct and room. And so if I turn the rooms all the way down and go back to my kick, get the direct sound and then rooms. So we put those together. bike ride. You can have some fun with those sounds. Now let me demonstrate my favorite part of this. If we go up a few octaves, we have these fills, and I call them fills, although that's maybe not the best term. But what I've done is I've taken the loops that were created and I found parts that I liked and I looped them over and over again. All right, let's go into our wave editor and we will go find this particular sample. So for instance, let's go look at this on C4. What I did is I went and found sections of each loop that I thought were somewhat interesting and made short loops out of them. So on the C sharp, if we move up, I just went through and found little sections that I found to be somewhat inspiring, and then you're able to do this. Now, especially if you add in the filters. So let's go back to our front page here. So you can do this kind of thing. Now, especially if we go in and add some more fun. And then hey, some Echo Boy, dotted eighth notes. As you can see, I'm getting better at my interface. I've actually moved on to a new version from this, but I created the knobs in Knobman, and I was proud of myself for figuring out the slider and how to do them horizontally instead of vertical, which was a challenge for me, even though it doesn't seem like it should be much of one. I'm really enjoying getting into the guts of Kontakt and learning how to script, and I even bought a course that I've been watching over and over again, and it's finally starting to sink in. And I'm excited about learning things that I didn't even know I needed to learn, and how that will affect the way that I create instruments and create music. So thanks for following along. You can get these sounds at johnmeyermusic.com, along with all the other sounds that I've done. If you are new to this channel, I've got lots there for you to take. I do appreciate you for sticking around, and I'll be back next week with more of something. Take care.